Hey
Hey guys,
guys,
I'm Jess,
I'm Kira.
And I'm Tiffany,
and welcome to the Rift Podcast.
where we discuss relevant issues for teens.
Relevant issues for teens. Get it? It's the acronym RIFT.
Welcome back to another Rift episode. Today is going to be a little bit of a different episode. Today we're just going to be having a little chat with each other and share with you guys our hobbies, our interests, how we got to know each other, just some general information. I can start off. Like I said, I am a freshman, and I've actually known Kira and Jess since elementary school, since I've been in this district for basically from kindergarten till high school. So I would say that like we know each other pretty well. And some of my hobbies and interests are I like mathematics and I like science. And my hobby is I like to play piano and I like singing as well. And I also like watching anime. Sometimes I play video games. So yeah, any one of you guys want to go next?
Yeah, I mean, you guys were my buddies when I moved to Jericho in fourth grade. Tiffany, you live somewhat close to me, so we were also buddies on the bus. Yeah, just I've always kind of been very curious of different things, so I like trying things out. I liked math, similar to you, Tiffany, so playing almost math games, being part of that in fifth grade, and things like, I know crafts. Crafts was like a big thing for me. That was almost a phase. And actually, Jess knows about this. Like, I was into duct tape.
Oh,
Like,
yes, I
yeah,
remember that.
yes. And you actually gifted me duct tape, which is like, if I said, oh my God, thank you, like Jess, for gifting me duct tape, that people would be like, you gave her duct tape? But yes, that was actually a perfect gift at the time. Basically, I would just create things and I forgot what I created. I just like looking back, sometimes I would go on my camera roll and then I would see pictures of things that I created, and they're just these weird things that I glued together and taped and all sorts of things. With duct tape specifically, like wallets, just random baskets. So I was very into that. Now I would say I'm into debate. It's taking up the majority of my time, so that's what is going on for me right now.
Hi guys, I'm Jess. For those of you who don't know, I'm also a freshman, and as Tiffany said, what's really cool is that I've known her and Kira for a really long time now. We were good friends in elementary school, and we still are pretty good friends. And I guess for me, I'm interested in a lot of things. I feel like my interests kind of are like, I like to think of them as a funnel. When I was younger, I literally did anything and everything, and as time has passed on, I've kind of narrowed my interest down to a few key things. And I think definitely for me, favorite interest is sports. I love playing sports because I'm a very competitive person. I love competing, I love training, and I just love being on a team. I find that really fun. And probably another interest, like Kira, for me is debate. It takes up a lot of my time too. Personally, I just love researching resolutions and case writing and making blocks, thinking of different arguments. Debate's just like a great experience and a great thing to be part of. And then I think probably my third interest would be TV. I know this is kind of a weird interest, but like I always start my day off with TV. Some people start their day off with breakfast. I start my day off with TV, guys.
See, I don't wake up early enough to do that. Do you watch a show? Like, what do you
I don't
play?
have the time.
I usually wake up pretty early just to get in my TV time.
That's good. How early?
It depends on the day, but I would say anywhere from 6 to 7:30.
Wow. I set an alarm for 8:15, but of course, I fall back asleep.
Actually, that exact same thing happened to me. So I usually set my alarm for 8. because I don't know why, but like every time I always set my alarm like 15 minutes early because I always snooze it like 5 times. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting up early enough. And also today I woke up at like 8:40, so I also missed my alarm. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, I try not to do that though, because if I wake up too late, I have English class first period, and oftentimes, you just have to participate or the teacher calls on you to read something. And, when you wake up right before class, your voice is just not ready. Yeah, so I
Mm-hmm.
try to wake up
Yeah.
earlier. I mean, also though, I remember reading like to snooze it, that's not very great. Like try to avoid that because then you're just taking away some of your REM, deep sleep, for a time that
Yeah.
you're just like
Yes.
interrupting it for more light sleep, like the extra 15 minutes or half an hour that you're asleep.
What's pretty
Yeah.
interesting about me, guys, fun fact is that I have what's called, I guess, an internal alarm clock. So I
Mhm.
can tell myself that I want to wake up at about 7 o'clock, and sure enough, I'll be up at about 7 o'clock. I can tell myself I want to be up at like 8:30 because I have something, and I'll probably be up around like 8:20 or 8:40. It's really weird, but I've never had to use an alarm in my entire life, guys.
Oh, really? So,
That
Yeah.
is actually a talent.
like, what if you had an important test, that you had to go to at 8 in the morning? Would you not set an alarm? Like,
I
let's
would
say you're,
not.
Wow.
I just, I guess, trust myself. Like my energy, I have a lot in the morning and less in the evening. I'm a morning person, guys.
wow. That
Mm,
is just, that shows the fact that you do not set an alarm. That's dangerous.
yeah. Like even if I were to sleep early before a test, I would still set up like an alarm, just in case. Oh man, that's real talent, guys.
I'm
Yeah.
living life on the edge.
See, I
Yeah.
have that on days maybe if I'm really nervous or if it's something very exciting. Like I get weirdly and oddly excited about just like if my family's going out the next day or something, and then I'll just wake up. Let's say like if we have to go to the airport pre-COVID times at 6 or something, I would wake up way before we need to at like 4 a.m. and I'm just like known to be that person in the household that's just up before everyone else on those days.
Yeah, me too. Like before we went on vacations, like the night before, I sometimes wouldn't even sleep because I'm so excited to go to the airport or, you know? So I can definitely relate to you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can relate too. I think on some vacation nights, I don't sleep at all. I'm literally just standing at my door with my suitcase ready to go. And I miss vacation so much because I feel like that's something that's been eroded because of COVID in a way, at least in my household.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
It's
has.
actually I don't know about you guys, but every time we go on vacation, my family like jam packs so many things in our itinerary. So every day is basically like it's 7 a.m. to like 8 p.m. We're like outside, we're going to tourist place, we're eating food outside. So sometimes I just feel like I'm not really even I can't even like sleep in and it's vacation. I can't
Well,
sleep
yeah, you're not
in,
supposed to
sleep
sleep
in.
vacation
Well,
because
but
you're
you're
in a
supposed to
different country.
relax in vacation.
That's true. You should relax. You should relax. But the thing about a packed itinerary is that the time passes slower, or at least it's just like there's so much, so it doesn't feel as short. Because I remember my trip, it was actually our last vacation before COVID. We went to Aruba for just 4 days. And usually 4 days, it might not feel a lot. It could just any school week of 4 days, it goes by so quickly. But 4 days, it felt awesome, just relaxed. Time was slow. I love that about vacations. Like the break goes by slower.
I actually think the
Definitely.
opposite. Actually, I feel like it goes quicker because every day I'm doing so many stuff. I'm visiting places, whatever. I just kind of lose track of time.
Yeah, I mean, there's no worse feeling than flying home or driving home from your vacation destination. And there's no worse feeling than knowing that you have school the next day. I mean, I think that's one of the worst feelings in the world, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
it is.
For sure.
Like after a vacation to go back like straight to school. That's why usually I think um if we ever go on vacation, we do it in the middle or the beginning. We don't go immediately straight to school. That's just so sad. What modes of transportation do you guys like for vacations? Do you guys usually go on a plane?
Yeah, I'm definitely a plane person because I'm lazy and I like having service. I just think it's like such a wholesome experience to like be on a plane and watch movies and see other people and on longer flights get meals. Well, whereas like in a car you have to stop, it's much longer and you're just surrounded by your family. Sometimes that can get annoying and some cars have TVs, others don't. I mean, I'm just totally plane person all the way because it's fast. But actually, I've never been on a train, and that's something that I want to try because I feel like train is a combination of a plane and a car in a way, and I think it's like I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to try.
A plane is a wholesome experience until you visit the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
And there's turbulence.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually for me, I get car sick, so I do not prefer road trips whatsoever. I'm like okay with planes, but I actually prefer cruises better because I actually went on a lot of cruises when I was young. I remember going on one cruise trip every year, like consecutively. So I liked cruises just because I wouldn't get like motion sickness. And also there were a lot of like there's just a lot of things you can do on the cruise, you know? I remember I would always play Monopoly with my siblings, and my family, like on a sea day when the cruise is traveling. So I always like that. And also the food is like amazing and like it's it's endless. You have
That's true.
so much food to choose from.
What's a
So
sea day?
a sea day is basically like you know how the cruise has to get to a destination, right? Sometimes it takes more than a day, so they call it a
Oh,
sea day. Yeah.
like you're just on the cruise the whole time.
Yeah, yeah, for the whole day. Yeah.
For cruises, do you usually like take a plane somewhere first, or do you always depart from around the same place?
Usually, I think recently, well, not recently, like the last cruise I went on, departed from the New York port.
As you know, there's been like salmonella outbreaks, COVID outbreaks on cruises. They just
Yeah.
think that it's like disease prone. So I don't think they're letting my family go on a cruise anytime soon. But cruises look so cool. They have zip lines, go karting, movies. It's basically like a wonderland.
Hopefully after COVID, maybe they're more careful on cruises. I remember that was like the Princess Cruise or something had the COVID outbreak. But just one point that you can use to convince your parents is like cruises, it's just all there. So it just takes out the stress, a lot of the stress of planning for vacation because oftentimes you have to plan just the entire itinerary, just every single meal, right? Like where you're going to eat, like if you're not at a resort. So,
But I have like I've took a plane to Florida and I had a cruise there. So yeah, I have had to take some planes to get to cruise. Yeah.
I've
the
always
good
wanted to
thing,
go on a cruise. Like
oh,
I've
you
always
have,
like begged my parents, but my parents
it's just all there, the cruise. I mean, that's all.
actually though my family like doesn't really heavily plan stuff. We kind of like just wing it. So
Okay. Okay. I mean that's good. That's like a vacation. You can just relax and do whatever you see. You're walking down, you see a nice restaurant, you can go there. But the last time I went on a cruise, we took a plane to I think it was Seattle first. Just with the cruise, a lot of it is included. So, I mean, just everything being there on this one boat. But also, I remember when I was on the cruise with my family, we had the plan where drinks were included. So, these waiters and waitresses would be, or the staff would be in every single room, in the auditorium and the atrium, and they would constantly ask you if you want a drink. And so I would just get a Pepsi every single time they asked, and I would be drinking like 5 Pepsis a day for days in a row. It was like about a week I was on the cruise. So yeah, just a cruise. Everything is handed to you, so it makes it easy.
Unlimited drinking. Wait, so was that cruise like, if it was to Seattle, did you travel to Vancouver?
Yeah, we did. I think
Nice.
Vancouver was just after the, I think it was like, oh, we spent a week on the cruise, and then Vancouver was the trip. We kind of just like almost took another week off the cruise, but still in vacation mode.
I don't think I've been to Vancouver, or I've probably been to Vancouver, but I was very young, so I don't really recall it that much. I actually usually travel internationally, like to Europe or to Asia. Rarely do I have domestic trips. For you guys, have you like, where's the farthest you've traveled?
For me, this is really lame, but that's definitely California. I've actually never been out of the US before.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've only probably been to, at the top of my head, maybe 5 states. So I definitely want to go to another country one day. That's
hey, I mean,
definitely on my bucket list.
technically, you're when you're taking that plane, you've been to many other states, just above
Yeah.
here.
I personally just like the idea of national travel though, because like you don't have to worry about customs and all that extra stuff. And I feel like there's just like so many cool things to see in the US. So
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know
true.
if it's necessary to really travel to other countries. I mean, it is, and I definitely want to, but the US has a lot to offer.
Well, the farthest I've traveled would be Taiwan. I visited the country like I don't know how many times. Like almost it would be every year when I was younger. So I probably stopped going at the age of 7, 6, 7, but like
Mhm.
age 4-ish, just like going there to see my aunt, uncle.
Yeah, usually I actually went to China 3 years ago, 2018, and I also visited my family and my relatives and all that. So yeah, usually if I were to go to Asia, it's just to visit my family and have a little bit of fun all the way. But I've been to Europe. I've been to France, Italy, Portugal, Spain, Germany.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been to a
Was
lot of
that all in
places.
one?
Dang.
No, no, no. I think I've had multiple trips to Europe. Yeah.
Where do you guys want to go most? Personally, I want to go to Japan. Japan is
That's
just
mine.
so cool.
Yeah.
That I was going to say that. Yeah. I've
Yes.
actually, funny story. 2020, my family was supposed to travel to Japan, but it got canceled. So, oh
Oh,
Oh
yeah, it
wait,
no.
was
I
really
think
sad.
was my family also planning? I'm not sure. Maybe because my sister is going to college next year.
Yeah, actually, my mom had a Japanese friend, like who lived in Japan, and she helped us like plan out where we should go and all that. And it was all like so well planned out. It was such a shame that we didn't get to go. At least we got the refund for the airplane tickets though. So
Oh
that's
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
so you even got the tickets. So you were really going to go.
Yeah. My family always plans out like super ahead, like 3 months like latest when we plan our trips and all that.
Do you get a discount for like doing it earlier?
I don't think it's a discount, but in general, like if you book earlier, the prices are a little bit lower because it's not like peak season. That makes sense. Like if you were to book a flight like a week later, a lot of people are booking that flight at that time, so prices would go up. That same idea applies to like last minute plane tickets. Sometimes they're cheap because not many people book last minute, so
Yeah, because it's just like they can't afford to not have people just have empty, plane seats. Because probably people cancel all the time, but it is very inconvenient. So why did you guys want to go to Japan?
I really like the capsule hotels. I think they're just futuristic, and it's definitely like a really cool experience to visit one. And I also just love Japanese food and Japanese cuisine. And I think they have so many interesting restaurants in Japan. Like one restaurant I would want to go to in particular is a restaurant where there's like a pool and you can fish for your own dinner. Like you just
That's
put in a rod
cool.
and you pull out a fish and they'll cook it for you, which I think is amazing. And Japan, I just love the culture. It's so clean and beautiful too.
Exactly. Like the quality, they hold themselves to a higher standard in just different things. But the capsule hotel, is that one person per capsule?
Yeah, I think so, unless you're like want more than one person in a capsule for whatever reason. But I think generally it's one person per capsule.
Okay. Wait, is that like a spherical thing?
I'm not sure. All I know is I watched lots of YouTube videos about it, and it's pretty cool. You have a locker, and there's a shower room and a toilet room. The capsules are pretty nice. Like they have lights. Some of them have TVs in there. It's pretty cool.
That's fun. That's fun. That's like the when you're a little kid and you build a little fort, and that's like
Yes.
the high class version of it.
I would imagine like the capsules would be really cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but like feel a little scared though. Like what if there was a fire and you were trapped in your capsule? That's always something to think about.
True. I mean, like if you're in a hotel, like anywhere, if you're staying anywhere, there's always the possibility of, you know, having a fire, so. And also it's probably even more dangerous in hotels because like sometimes the doors are like really heavy and all that, so it might make it
Yes.
harder to escape or whatever. But also I
Actually,
I I agree with Jess. I also really like Japan's culture and the food, but also like I said, I watch anime, so one thing I was looking forward to was visiting one of the animation studios in Japan. I thought that would be really cool because I heard there's like statues of really famous anime characters in Japan, and that like makes me really excited. So
oh nice.
that's definitely something on my bucket list.
For an animation studio, do you see how they actually create the animes?
So it's filled with lakes, hiking trails, trees. It's amazing. I went there with my family and the water was crystal clear blue, and because it's lakes, so the waves were not too bad. It was really nice. Yeah. I definitely suggest going to Calgary, Canada.
Have you guys been to resorts?
I have not actually, but I want to go so bad. But my family for vacations, what we like to do, I guess, is just like kind of have control and freedom because I feel like if you're at a resort, um, oftentimes you can't really leave. And I don't know, what if the food sucks and you're kind of just trapped there and you paid for it, so you have to eat it? So I want to go to a resort because that's super cool, but I kind of like having the freedom to mix and match, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I've been to, was it just the resort in Mexico? I mean, also, it was like I was pretty young. I think resorts are pretty good for younger children just because it's just all fun, doesn't get too boring. And that's also one thing, like vacations, if you're really, really small, be a little bit of a waste.
Near Lake Tahoe. And I remember the one thing I was excited about in a resort was the swimming pool. I don't know why. I think when I was young, because at that time I was still swimming, so I really like swimming, and I just looked forward to swimming in the pools. Like I would skip dinner. I wouldn't even want to eat. I would just want to go swim.
Speaking of swimming, I guess because of COVID and not going on vacation and whatnot, it's been, I think, a pretty long time since I've been in a pool, come to think of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
same. I think for me it's been 2 years.
since you
Cause
stepped in a pool.
no, I haven't been to the beach. I haven't been in a swimming pool for 2 years.
Uh, Probably since the last time was just last year, the swim team, and that was the fall. So it's been over a year. But I've been to the beach. Just like I like going to the beach on those off-peak times. this summer, actually, I really enjoyed doing that because then you can just walk on the sand. I haven't been to Jones Beach in a while, but during the summer, we would go pretty often to just enjoy the sand, not necessarily the ocean, but just enjoying a walk on the beach close to sunset. And there's actually this one time my dad and I made the effort to actually go before sunrise to see the sunrise, like going on the beach. And it's actually a pretty nice experience. Like, I would recommend people, anyone who's interested in nature, to just watch that sunrise one day. Like, we had to set an alarm early, about 4:30 a.m. probably. You have to go to the beach and then you just sit there by the ocean. The wind is blowing, and you can see all these pretty colors paint the sky.
Yeah, I like the beach better than the pool because personally for me, I'm a big boogie boarder or bodyboarding. I don't know what you call it, but I really like doing that. And I think waves are just really fun because I'm an adventurer. I'm like the crazy kid that's just running in and out of the water and diving into waves and being crazy. I just love the beach for that reason. And I like pools, but I can't stand the chlorine smell. I don't know. That's just personal preference.
Right, but then you have to deal with the sand that sticks to everything.
Right, right. Good point. Good point.
Yeah, I think for me, I would prefer pools, and I think that's just because I've been on a swimming team, so I kind of got used to the chlorine smell or whatever. Um, and I'm sure it's like a common problem for everyone. I just don't like sand sticking up everywhere on my skin. So that's just like very uncomfortable. And also, like in the ocean, it's hard for me to actually swim because usually if I go to the beach or go to the pool, I like to swim, get some exercise in, you know? So that's hard also because it's salt water. So uh, I don't want to ingest salt water. So yeah. I also remember like I would bring swimming goggles. You'd find me like in a picture. I'm just wearing a swimming cap and swimming goggles, preparing to swim. But at the end of the day, I actually never swim because it's salt water and there's sand up my butt and it's just overall really uncomfortable. So my overall experience with beaches are not so good if I go swimming. But speaking of beaches, I actually visit Jones Beach a lot, not for like swimming, but I actually go on the bike trail with my dad. Usually we go in the morning. Obviously now we haven't done it in a while, but back in 2019, it's like a 12-mile, I think, round trip trail on the bike, and we would bike along the bay the Long Island Sound, not the Atlantic Ocean. Um, but yeah, we also watched the sunrise too one time because we got up really early, so it was really nice. Do you guys go biking with your family?
Yeah, it's kind of been a while. Probably did it just like the last time, or at least regularly biking in the summer, but this school year not so much. Biking though, usually just around the neighborhood. I don't think we really have brought our bikes elsewhere because we don't have that bike rack on the car to really take it. So that's kind of inconvenient.
Yeah, like for me and my family, I think back in, ooh, I want to say 2017, we were really into biking and that was kind of a phase we went through and it was really fun because actually I was so surprised to learn that where we live, there are so many great biking trails. But then that kind of died down and similar to Kira, we kind of just chill around and bike around the neighborhood.
Yeah. I mean, actually, we did have a biking trip or day of biking in Vancouver, actually. It was just we each rented a bike and then we went in this state park. But then what ended up happening is that on the way down, my sister had a concussion because she just fell. And that just like put also a halt to our trip because now we have a person with a concussion. in the family.
Oh no, that's terrible. I actually over the summer had a pretty bad wipeout myself. I was actually just goofing off and trying to like swerve my bike around because I'm a crazy kid. I'm an adventurer, and actually I shattered my phone
Oh,
and I got really bad scrapes on my arms and legs that actually got infected from all the little pebbles and rocks on the road. So I can totally relate to your sister.
Yeah, actually, similar to Jess, I've also had like a traumatic experience. So when I went to Bethpage State Park to go on the trails and all that, um, because usually me and my dad, we ride pretty fast. Like we're not really cruising, we're trying to exercise.
Go to trails almost every weekend and bike.
One time when I had to cross the interstate on a bridge, there was this old lady driving, and I like waited at the crosswalk, right?
were you going fast?
No, cause I just stopped on the crosswalk, so I was like going pretty slow at first. But
And
yeah,
how does she not see you?
because by the time I was like biking over, and she was approaching like the crosswalk, the lady in the car, like really slow. So I like when I was looking both directions, I didn't really see her car. So by the time I was crossing the crosswalk, her car actually hit my back wheel, and I actually fell down.
Oh,
But luckily there were no cars on the other side of the road, so I didn't get like run over,
where you going?
fortunately. Apparently she okay, so you know how like when you put the brake on the car, right? And then you see that there's no one there, so then you lift up your foot and then you put it on the gas pedal, right? So what probably happened was she saw that there was no one there for a split second, and then she lifted her foot, put and pressed on the gas pedal. But then like because I was already going, the reaction was late. But I thank God she was going slow, so she didn't hit and run me, you know? Yeah, and actually, there was another biker nearby. So he called the police.
Oh,
Yeah, so the police came and they interrogated me, asking me if I'm okay. Was it like a hit and run? And eventually, like the old lady paid a fine or whatever because that was like a state park, right? So cars like on the crosswalk, they have to stop even though like
yeah,
there's no bikers there. Yeah, they have. It's basically like a symbolic stop sign. You have to stop for at least 3 seconds, you know, just in case there's bikers. So apparently she violated that fine or whatever. And yeah.
Right, and also, anyways, using my limited driving and road law knowledge, I know that pedestrians always have the right of way, or bikers. So either
Mhm.
way, like even if she meant very well, she was kind of in the wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically after that like I kind of got scared of biking. But eventually like after a couple months I stopped going to that park. I just went to Jones Beach because that one doesn't really have intersections with it's like it's along the highway, so you're not gonna have to stop or wait for any cars, you know? So yeah, that was the last time I went to a state park.
okay. I mean, I've actually been interested in going to Jones Beach for biking. It was just the middle of summer and it was very hot. And on that bike trail, there's zero shade, so you just be in the sun the whole time. That is what pushed me off.
I think like another frustrating thing is that when you get stuck by two or three people who are in a row going very slowly and it's impossible to pass them, or even just one person on a narrow trail, I hate that feeling. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I also think that too. Because usually like on the Jones Beach Trail, there's like designation of like the walkers or like the non-bikers, they have to stay to the right, like the very, very right. And then if a biker were to pass, it would easily be able to pass because they just have to go towards the left and you know all that. Yeah. I definitely feel that. Because sometimes I don't know why sometimes like non-bikers they just go in the middle. You know, it's probably because they think no one's there. But I mean, well, when I go running, I personally don't like sidewalks because some of the sidewalks in our
Right.
neighborhood, like it's like a hill. It's like it goes up and then it goes down. So usually I like to stay on the road, but usually I stay on the side anyways because I don't want to get hit by a car.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine to stay like to the side of the sidewalk. And also
Mhm.
when you're biking, you should also try to stay on the side. Like you can stay on the road. I mean, it's not really,
Yeah.
to ask a biker to be on the sidewalk when there's a bunch of cracks and it's actually probably more dangerous.
Yeah, even in my neighborhood, what kind of throws me off is that even though we have a very nice sidewalk, I see people all of the time walking in the middle of the street. And I don't know, man, there's a sidewalk. You have a designated place to walk safely.
And I think that's it for today. Do you guys have anything else you want to tell our audience?
Oh, my news. I got my braces off yesterday and actually picked up my retainers. So it's like almost a new chapter in my life because the past 2 years I've had braces. My little
The rite
friend,
of passage. Congratulations, Kira.
Congratulations, yes.
yes, actually, I still have my bottom braces, so it's not completely over. I'm nearing the end.
It's better than nothing, you know? I'm still on like the rubber bands process, but now I only have one rubber band, so I'm also making progress. My
Um,
dentist said probably around summer I can get everything off, so that's nice.
okay, yeah, before school.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's sad to think that every single night I'm going to have to wear retainers.
Okay. So I think we had a nice conversation. It was nice catching up with you guys.
Yeah, that's me. I have to wear a retainer every single night, and not gonna lie, cleaning it is super annoying. I wish they made self-cleaning retainers.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, because if you just stop wearing retainers, then it'll go back. And then
Mhm.
imagine like having another 2 years of braces. No, thank you.
Not fun at all.
Yeah.
Jess, when you got your braces off, did it like hurt? Like when they took the brackets off or whatever, like the glue off?
No, actually, for me, it didn't hurt because they just shined some special light on it, and it just undid the glue. It was as easy as that, and then they just
Oh,
pulled it out.
really?
No pain.
Yeah, it actually
Oh,
wasn't
that's
that bad,
interesting.
except when I had it taken off yesterday, there was this like one little point where it did hurt. I think just the final pull, like he has to take out the brackets. I mean, it's just like a little bit of pressure. It's not really pain.
It's
Mm.
not like
I've
getting
always,
your braces tightened. That it's not like that painful at all.
yeah, every time I'm at the dentist, I always like envision what the dentist is doing. Because you know how like he replaces the rubber bands every week or whatever, and he like takes out the wire, adjusts the wire, puts it back. I don't know. I'm always like wondering about that, like how it would actually look if I were to do that. It looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, because you don't even know what it looks like.
Yeah. And also like you know that thing that he uses to put the rubber bands on,
Wait,
that
does it click?
Oh,
yeah,
that
that
thing is
clicking.
so cool.
I don't even
Yeah.
know what it is. Like, what does it do?
I think it like expands the rubber band so it's easier to put on. I don't know. I'm not too sure. But like that clicking sound is very satisfying.
The entire thing is satisfying, like how they the rubber bands come in like those, I don't know how to say it, maybe like sheets or rows, and then they put it on. It's just like click 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 click.
Honestly,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm just lying there and then I'm like, really, what are you doing? I'm just wondering.
Hmm.
For me, probably like the most traumatic orthodontic experience, excuse me, was when I was getting a new wire on my braces for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why. And actually, my orthodontist must have made some kind of mistake, because he trimmed it and left a little, like that little sharp piece of metal
Oh, so it
in my
hurts.
mouth, and I swallowed it, and
Oh.
it scraped my throat on the way down, and it was lodged in my throat for a second, but I was able to cough it up, which is great, but that was definitely really scary.
Oh, wow.
Thank God
Okay.
for the gag reflex.
I think I was being dramatic. It was more of like a scratch.
Still hurt.
All right, guys, I think we talked about a lot today, and that was a really great podcast.
Yes, an episode.
Right, episode. I gotta work on that terminology, you
Yeah,
guys.
terminology.
Yep. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Next time.